Stationery supplier Kikki.K collapses. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to have a look at a retail business that sadly has collapsed for the second time. It's a return to some of the retail recession episodes we've been doing. Now, this isn't a shop I would frequent too much myself. Don't get me wrong, I like the nice stationery, but I'll go to Officeworks to be quite honest. But I know a lot of, frankly, women who would love this, or my 8-year-old daughter would love this. The girls would love all of this stuff, all the nice little stationery. It's all just a little too expensive for me. But, well, they're in trouble, everyone. This is a notice here, a published notice from ASIC. Combined notice of the appointment and first meeting of creditors of a company under administration. So they're under administration. They're going to be registering debtors and creditors. We'll have to see what happens. The administrators, Cuven Auld and Liam Haley, and this is the company that's being administered. The meeting is given, the first meeting for the creditors, virtual meeting only. Please contact their office at 11 a.m. on the 7th of September. So if you happen to be owed money by these guys, get in that meeting, everyone. The purpose of the meeting is to consider whether to appoint a committee of inspection, and if so, who will be on the committee, be the committee's members. At the meeting, creditors may also, by resolution, remove the administrators from office and appoint someone else as administrators of the company. Creditors wishing to attend are advised proofs and proxies are to be submitted to the administrator by the 6th of September at 12 p.m. So, and this just came out yesterday. How is the media responding to this? Well, let's have a look. There's an article here from news.com. Founders of popular stationery chain announced it was a sad day, but lockdowns had devastated the brand, with 300 workers at risk of losing their jobs. So the company's in administration. It can still be saved, but I think we only heard of one example of that happening when we were looking at all these retail. I mean, it's stationery, guys. If you're locked down, you're not going to need as much. If you're working from home, you might make do. And honestly, these are luxury items, okay? These are luxury items. If you're doing it tough, it's buying the special branded $40 little pink book that you don't need. These are definitely luxuries. And I know there'll be some women in the comments going, no, we need them. But come on. You know you don't. Stationery chain Kikki.K has fallen victim to the impact of lockdowns in New South Wales, Victoria and the ACT, announcing it has collapsed for the second time in 17 months, putting 300 Aussie jobs in jeopardy. Last March, the company collapsed owing $20 million to creditors, but was rescued by a US-based lifestyle products company called Erin Condra Designs, EC Designs, which took control last August. But Kikki.K's co-founders Christina Carlson and Paul Lacey released a message to staff on Monday about the sad day, revealing they were going into voluntary administration again. I mean, it must be sad. The loss of revenue from the forced and extended closures of so many of our stores due to the COVID pandemic as part of the government's ordered lockdowns has taken a direct, massive, and insurmountable toll, they said. The founders added that with no certainty on when the lockdowns would end, the risk was too great for them to continue to fund the business, as it relied heavily on retail sales of diaries, calendars, planners, notebooks, cards, and wrapping paper. To be clear, this result has been a direct consequence of the pandemic and the unprecedented, devastating financial consequences of past and current store lockdowns, and the prospect and risk of extended closures with no clear end in sight, they said. It has simply not been possible to get through such a seismic event outside of our control. This is kind of sad. It's not that. What can you do? Sure, you can have an online product. Sure, you can compete in that sector, but I mean, then you're no different to anyone else selling online. You're not going to pay a premium because here's the thing: with this stuff, not just, hang on, it's images here. It's not just the knickknacks, it's the whole experience. It's the haptic sensation of when you touch and feel what you're buying when you go into the shop. It's the whole experience that you're buying. If it's online, they're no different to anyone else. In a statement, Ms. Lacey added that sadly this was one series of lockdowns too many for the business to withstand. It has been a massive battle for business survival in recent months, he said. We've taken numerous urgent steps to find a way through this, but the sheer impact and magnitude of lost sales due to COVID lockdowns and the risk for directors associated with continuing to trade with such significant uncertainty ahead gave no choice. It's devastating that the pandemic has had this impact on the business. Well, not the pandemic. The lockdowns to mitigate the spread of the illness. That's what's had the damage. Retail expert Dr. Gary Mortimer from the Queensland University of Technology said he didn't think it was the end of Kikki.K brand, which enjoys plenty of loyalty. Putting a business into voluntary administration isn't necessarily a bad thing. It enables a new owner to restructure the business, exit a few leases if they need to, and transform the business, he told news.com.au. True, he's right there, but it's bloody rare that we see it come back. It really is. Even CBA is predicting that the rebound from this lockdown isn't going to be as good. Okay, maybe Gary's the bigger optimist. I think Kikki.K brand is strong, globally recognized brand. It will need to find a very innovative new owner that guides it through the period of COVID as a possibly smaller but more profitable business, and we may see it going online entirely, as childwear retailer Pumpkin Patch did, or morph and go into concessions in other stores like Darrell Lea. The chocolate maker wasn't able to make it as a physical specialty retailer, but now it's ranged in mostly supermarkets and is a strong brand. The voluntary administration and will be led by Senior Managing Director Kevin Auld. I think something's cut off there. He said the firm was appointed on Thursday and a review is currently being undertaken of the business. We are working with the directors and owners to assess the options, and while doing that, we'll make decisions about the operation of the business, including the stores. The business currently operates 36 stores, of which 30 are closed due to COVID-related issues in Victoria and New South Wales, and that is the main impact on the business. Its inability to withstand another retail shutdown in the COVID environment. Mr. Auld said the sales process would commence later this week for interested parties to either buy or recapitalize the business, as he expects there to be strong interest. It's a very strong brand and has a very strong following, he added. It really is in this situation because of the lockdowns and the retail environment in Australia, and the decision by the owners to not continue to fund the retail structure with uncertainty of lockdowns and how long they're going to go on for. With some staff already stood down after the retail store closures due to lockdowns, the business would continue to trade online in its sites across Queensland, South Australia, West Australia and Singapore. But Mr. Auld said more employees would likely be stood down. Kikki.K is heavily dependent on its retail locations, which have been closed for an indefinite period of time as part of government-ordered lockdowns, added Director and EC Designs representative Tonia Misfa. While it is not the outcome we hope for, we are working closely with the administrators to support our team members during this process, as well as explore all possible options for this beloved brand. Professor Mortimer warned that the incredibly challenging retail environment created by the pandemic could see more brands face the same fate as Kikki.K. It's not unreasonable to think, as continued lockdowns progress and restrictions, particularly around persons per square metre, remain in place, that businesses will continue to struggle and fall into voluntary administration or simply close, he said. So there we have it, everyone. Another business in retail recession. So what is the solution? What's the takeaway to all of this? Well, it's a tough one. They're probably making the right decision. With the unknown of the lockdowns, what else can they do? This is one advantage of the proposal by the Liberal Democrats where they're looking to have a freedom day set in stone to allow businesses to plan, to allow people to have a strategy out of this whole disaster. And frankly, that seems like a good solution. We need a strategy. We need an end date. We need some certainty, because otherwise, you don't know. You don't know if you need to cut your losses or not. That's the sad truth. Let me know what your suggestions or solutions would be in this situation. Would you keep fighting, or would you shut down? As always, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, use our affiliate links, or support us via PayPal. See you later.